When I wake up, the other side of the bed is cold. My fingers stretch out, seeking Prim's warmth, but finding only the rough canvas cover of the mattress. She must have had bad dreams and climbed in with her mother. Of course she did. This is the day of the reaping. This single line tells you everything you need to know about this world. Welcome to the Hunger Games. I'm Zan, konnichiwa, aloha, bonjour, and what's up? And welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Book Club. And we are on our seventh book of our Project 45 by 45, where I'm going to be reading 45 books before I hit 45. And let's get to it because we're entering the arena with one of the most popular books of the last 20 years. More importantly, it is a book which is known for its huge following. It is a story which is unique, impactful, and more importantly, it's one which I have a very convoluted and interesting history with. And what is this book I'm talking about? Well, talking about The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This came out in 2008, and it is a unique story that is a different interpretation of the Most Deadly Game trope, which was based on the book by Most Deadly Game by Richard Collins. It's been interpreted so many times, everything from The Running Man, Battle Royale, and so many other stories. And speaking of Battle Royale, that's kind of why I have an interesting, relationship with this book, because when this book first came out in 2008, it was the same time that Battle Royale was released in English. And for those who don't know, Battle Royale is a story of a classroom of students who were sent to an island put with Hidebu collars, and last one surviving wins. Sounds kind of familiar. And a lot of people were saying, oh, it's just a ripoff of Hunger Games. And a lot of people were like, no, it's not. It came out first. And it became very factionized where you either choose your Team Hunger Games or Team Battle Royale. And a lot of people who were Team Battle Royale, they never read Hunger Games, never got into it. And I was part of that Team Battle Royale because it is an awesome book. It's amazing. It's very violent. And it's a very different take. After so many years, I finally decided, you know what? Let's see what the fuss is about because there's been so many movies, so many adaptations. I've never watched anything of it, never read it. And I finally decided to read it. And wow, I am shocked I slept on this because this book is one of those books that is phenomenal. It is very well written. The pacing is great. The characters are unique. It does the trope of the ending so well. And there's so many twists and turns that you don't expect in this story about Katniss Everdeen that I was shocked. And yeah, so I'm shocked I slept on this. But let's actually get into this what this book is about. Now, don't worry, I'm going to get into some spoilery stuff, but we're not going to get into there until yet. So we'll get to that in a moment. So for those of you who aren't aware, Hunger Games, well, the jacket copy says, winning means fame and fortune, losing means certain death. The Hunger Games have begun. And that is a perfect representation of what this story is. It is a story of the Hunger Games, an event that happened for the last 4 years in the country of Panem, which used to be the United States, but no longer. Panem was divided into 13 districts plus the capital, and 74 years ago, the 13 districts revolted against the capital. They lost, 13th district is gone. And now the 12 remaining districts every year have to give up a tribute of one boy, one girl to be sent to the capital where they will compete in the Hunger Games. The last person standing will receive riches and rewards, while all the other ones will be sacrificed and die. This is a way for them to, one, ensure that the rebellion never happens again, and two, it's going to create some hostility and also some patriotism amongst the districts. And our main character, Katniss Everdeen, is a young girl from the 12th district who, due to circumstances, volunteers to be the tribute for her district in order to save her younger sister, Primrose. From that point, her and Peter Malark, the boy who's been chosen for the district, have to go to the capital and survive. And what happens is a mixture of pageantry, violence, action, reality TV, love, and so much more. This story, it's suspenseful, it's dramatic, and it draws you directly into it. And I'm shocked I never read this. Immediately after reading the book, I watched the first movie, and I was like, okay, I have feelings. I love the book. The movie edits some stuff out, changes some elements, but it is really dynamic. And I gotta say, I've not read or watched the second, third, or fourth movie, and I've definitely not read the fifth movie, even though the fifth movie I want to read, the fifth book I want to read next, because Hamish is one of my favorite characters in this book, and I'd love to see how he gets to this point of being a drunk. But let's actually get into the elements of this story itself. And this is going to be spoiler heavy. It's been over 15 years since this book came out. So, yeah. So there are going to be some spoilers. If you've not read Hunger Games, pause now, read the book, come back. If you watch the movie, there are going to be some differences that we're going to get into, so we're going to get to that. But let's actually get to it by starting off with something which is really important, which is the first quote I'm going to reference to this, which is so important. It's actually one which is truly a important statement, which is hope is the only thing stronger than fear. Because in order to survive the games, in order to survive this world, you have to have hope, even a little bit. And in District 12, it is a very different world. It's a world where you're either going to die in a mine or you're going to survive by whatever means possible. And that is Katniss's journey, because we see Katniss go from someone who's taking care of her family to this revolutionary symbol who has defied the capital. And we see her move with this throughout this whole story. And we see her personality come through as who she is, because in the movie she's depicted as a bitch, as a horrible, like a very whiny, like I hate everybody, this that. But we see what her deal is. She's not a bitch. Her deal is that she is the person who raised Primrose. Her mom had a break after her dad died, and she's been the one who's holding the family together. She's the one that goes out hunting, which is very illegal in District 12 and could lead to her being executed if they catch her. She's the one who goes to the secret markets to sell the food that she gets, the plants she gets. She's the one that is taking care of them, making sure they're okay. And more importantly than that, we find out that in order for her to join the tributes, they have a voluntary addition you could add. You could put more tokens with your name in it in exchange for oil, but I believe it's grease and grain. So you can get some food and you get some fuel in exchange for adding more numbers. Someone apparently had 47 tickets of their name, and she put in several for herself to make sure she was safe. And then Prim, she's like, no, you're not doing this. You're getting one, just one. So out of that, all those trumped up numbers, Prim gets chosen, and she has a moment of, no, she's supposed to be safe. I have to protect her. I have to make sure she's safe. And she does that. She saves her by doing that. She pretty much says, nope, we're doing this. It's going to be happen. It's going to be great. And she saves Prim by volunteering. I volunteer for tribute. And this is a moment of her rising up to the occasion. And also, I do like that she gets her pin not from her mom or store. It's someone else who liked her. The mayor's daughter gives her this pin of the Mockingjay, which is so important. It is such a crucial symbol in this book. It's just because this symbol was given as a gift. It's really important. And we haven't even gotten to Peta yet. Peta, the boy who, when they were younger, kind of bullied her, but not really. He burned his hands, burned the bread in order to get her food instead of just giving her food because she didn't have the money for food and ruining it so that he gets in trouble, but he saves her because he's always cared about her, and we know he cares about her. And slight deviation for a moment, the whole Peta versus Gale thing. Gale is a non-entity, let's be honest. Gale is in the first chapter, and he's kind of important. He's her best friend, but she's not into him. It's not like oh, we're going to get married and have 5 kids, and I'm in love with you. No, it's like, yeah, I don't want to get married. I don't want to deal with this. We're not going to bring kids here. You have 5 brothers to deal with. You're my best friend. You're my shoulder to lean on, but you're not more than that. He's friend zoned. He's not going anywhere. And people who are like, oh, there's a choice between Gale and Peta. No, Peta is endgame. Gale is just kind of there. But back to the Katniss. And with this, her volunteering, she ends up having to be thrown into this world where she has to smile. She has to act on the pageantry of the tribute to be that wonderful thing she is. And also, she's dealing with the fact that Effie is trying to push her to be the best she can be, because Effie doesn't want to be in District 12. She was sent to District 12 kind of as a punishment. And she's like, if I do good, I can get out of here and represent one of the other districts. It'll be great. But Effie ends up developing into a character that we really like, that she cares about Peta and Katniss. So, in regards to that. But from there, we see her evolve into this character who first has to prove herself to Hamish in a way she does, and I like that she's able to get Hamish to say, "All right, I'm not going to drink when you're around. I'll stay sober enough that you get my training, but that's about it." And he pushes it far enough to get to that point, to better himself for her, and he roots for her. He is her her salvation and teaches her to better herself. However, he's not the real MVP in this book. The real MVP, let's be honest, is Cena, who is the fashion designer who ends up making Katniss into the girl on fire. Maybe he's a revolutionary, we're not sure, but he's the one that is her best friend. Like his assistants are just saying, "Oh, don't you love being in the Capitol? It's wonderful and amazing and beautiful and so pretty compared to your dusty thing." And he's like, "No, he's there to listen. He's a good person." And he is a great character, and he is there to listen to her. He's the shoulder she needs to cry on, and I like that. Peeta wants to be that, but that's her best friend. And what's going to happen with Cena in the next books? Hopefully, he's around a while. Maybe he joins the rebellion. I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to fight a sneeze right now. That's why I'm twitching my nose. But regardless. So back to Katniss. So Katniss, amazing character, well done, really well written, especially when we get into the moments of what causes her to rebel. Because she ends up in the games after showcasing her temper with that great sequence involving her shooting the apple by the guards. Not the guards, the judges. It's a way to say kind of fuck you. But they also explain in the book that they've been there for 12 hours watching every single candidate, so they're kind of bored. So that doing that kind of sparks the interest, and I like that they did that. But anyway, getting into the elements of the actual game, she's still just trying to survive. She knows Peeta's doing his own thing, and she likes him as a friend, but that's it. And eventually, she has to be on her own. And when she's on her own, she has to survive. That's why she doesn't start off loaded with the bow and arrow, kicking ass. Hamish is like, "Listen, they're gonna have bow and arrow in the cornucopia. You can't go to the cornucopia. Run the hell the other way. Get water. Get to Highland. This is not a little event because in the movie they say it's 24 hours. That's it. This is weeks. The Hunger Games are weeks of them watching. So it's a lot goes on. And the various tributes survive in different ways. We see this pack mentality that's famous in all of the most deadly game stories. And where it's the brutal and the mean and the more the bullies will gather together to hunt the weaker pack members. And that's what happens. And then Peeta joins in. We don't know what happens with Peeta. We kind of hear about it, but I would like to see from his point of view what's going on while he's helping them. Like, is he just lamenting? Is he just playing for the audience? Well, we're gonna get to the Peeta's methodology and his thoughts in a little bit, but regardless, he gets to that point. She gets to that point, and then it's her interacting with Rue. Rue, who reminds her of Primrose. Rue, this young girl who she is an innocent in this group. She's the youngest one there. She shouldn't be there. She should be doing something else. But no, she has been sent from District 11 with Rash to fight to the death. And she's someone who's smart, knows how to hide and how to live off the land. She's not going to hurt anybody. And she is a character who, honestly, what her outcome, it's so sad. And she doesn't deserve it. I mean, only one could survive at this point. They didn't do the announcement for the if two from the same district could survive, but she wants to, she's with Katniss and Katniss helping her, and then Katniss protects her, and just for her to lose at that point, just because District Two's piece of shit, it's heartbreaking and sad. And we go through the motions with Katniss, and I like that Katniss immediately is like, and this is the big quote, which is that I want to do something right here, right now, to shame them, to make them accountable, to show the Capitol that whatever they do or force us to do, there is a part of every tribute they can't own. That Rue is more than a piece in their game, and so am I. That she has to show that Rue is a person and keep her from humanity by just burying Rue. Not even burying Rue, she covers her with flowers. This little girl that she held her hand and sang her sister's lullaby to. It's gotta fuck with you. It's gotta mess with you when you're there. And she's there in that moment. And just by doing that, we get this moment of humanity from her. And this is also the moment of her rebelling, realizing, screw you, I'm doing what I can. And one thing that the book gets that the movie changes completely that I don't like the movie adaptation, but I love the book version, is that afterwards she gets a gift from District 11, just a piece of bread, and she realizes for District 11 that's a lot of money. They had to scrimp and save and collect for that, and it's a thank you to them, a thank you from them to her for giving their daughter who passed dignity. The movie just has, oh, they're rioting, which is important. It shows the spark starts, but that expressing, it's so much more powerful, I think. And then from here we get into the romance part of them saying they're going to have two winners, and then it is now she has to play the game, and she realizes she has to work with this romance, make it wonderful that she's been building the entire time, and it works because you see it's from her point of view, and she's realizing actually Peter has feelings for her, which leads to the end where Peter's like it's a one-sided relationship. He's in love with her. He's willing to do whatever he can for her. And then when he realizes, oh, this is just a game to you, kind of feel bad for him. It's like he's like, oh, okay, is this real? It's not. Well, let me know what you think when it's real. And you feel bad for the guy. And going back to the humanity element, the fact that the twist with the mutates at the end, that is fucked up. Again, spoilers. The fact that the mutates are just they took the bodies of all the dead tributes from this game and reanimated them into these wolf things, that's just diabolical. It is evil and menacing in a way where you would not expect that. It also makes the capital more unfeeling, more non-human, and I like that the book doesn't show the capital. Yeah, you have references to President Snow when he does one speech. The movie shows Snow and it builds him as his character, but the book, you don't know much about Snow. The capital is just this ambiguous big brother. It's an organization. You know kind of what's going on, but you don't see it. They don't address it. It's speculation. And hearing about the different mutations, everything from the Jacker Jacks to the Mockingjays and the mutates. I love that mutates with two M's, like it's mutt. It's kind of a nerd little thing that I like. It makes this book so interesting, and it just does something. In this moment of when she realizes this thing attacking me was Rue, oh, oh, they could have milked that so much more, and it would have been so much more heartbreaking. Like I would be like, yes, I love it. This is so sad, but at this point, it's the end. It's the end game, and you want her to win, and you don't want District One to win because that guy's a piece of shit. Actually, I like that they focus that the lower districts are really jerks. That they're trained to do this, and that's how they're going to win, and they're great, and they're just big egoed, and they're horrible, and you can hate them for it. And you need a character hating this. You need a villain, and that they are the great versions of the villains. And this Katniss's journey is one which you follow from point A to point B, and then the end where she screws. Where at the ending with what happens, and she just pretty much has been like, "You screwed up. You did this. You gotta play this right. Otherwise, they're gonna kill you and your family." That's where she goes, and you see her develop from this character who's only trying to protect her sister and her family to becoming this person who's like, "We have to topple the system." She's getting there. She's learning things. And we see this the beginning, the spark of a flame. Just like her dress that Cena made that goes, that spark that works. Now going to PETA. I know I've spent a little bit of time talking to PETA, but going to PETA, he's the one that's been essentially Princess Donating the situation because let's be honest, Dungeon Crawler Carl is the latest of the most deadly games that's out there, and I love Dungeon Crawler Carl. We've been talking so much about it; it's great. But the thing is, Carl's the muscle, Donut is the social. In this situation, same thing. Katniss is the one that's going to win this. Pete is the one that has to keep the audience's attention. Has to be the one that makes the story great, keeps them interested, talks about them, shows the forlorn looks, and focuses on kissing and talking and the petting and all that. Peeta does that, and he's socially smart, but he's also physically strong. It's just he's not as violent as Katniss is. Katniss is one to kill people. Peeta's still kind of he doesn't want to hurt people. and he's not a contender, but he strives, and that's his strength. I think his strength of his character, and that is well done in this. And this story is one which it's engaging and enthralling. And this is, like I said, this is an adaptation of The Most Deadly Game, which if you've never read it, it's a story of a man who meets another man who pays him to hunt him for sport. We've seen this adapted so many times. The Running Man, Battle Royale, this Dungeon Crawler Carl. There's so many other adaptations of this story where it's the watching and this. We're going to see who wins. We're going to bet on this. It's the Colosseum. It's the gladiators. It's all that, and more importantly, it's the social dynamic in this futuristic society that works so well. But I'm getting a little philosophical and weird, and I know it's a little boring. So let's actually get into some of the more elements about this. That's great. This is adapted. There's four different adaptations, four different sequels, several adaptations. It's a great book. It's well written. The fact that it's in first person, again, another book that's first person, it makes. At first, I was like, it's a first person book. I'm not gonna like it, but I'm like, I actually am digging this. And I think that 2005 was when these became more popular. The first person narratives, for example, Percy Jackson, this as opposed to the standard third person story, which I like third person stories a little better. I like that when you're the outside observer watching the situation. However, first person does get you into the character's head, and we see a lot of what's going on. And honestly, compared to Fourth Wing, this is a slam dunk. So much better. The relationship is enforced. It's not smutty. It's violent as hell, and it is well done. And I want to know what happens next. I want to read the next book. However, because of my thing with the 45 by 45 project, I'm not going to be reading out of order, which has been driving me kind of crazy. I'm like, I want to read this book, but we have this book. So, yeah. So setting is amazing. It's well done. I do wish we could learn more about some of the other districts because I really don't remember most of them. I remember the first and second district, and I remember 11 and 12. Everyone in the middle, I forget about. I would like to know more about the fifth and sixth and seventh district. Also, with District 13, what was their deal? If agriculture was 11 and then 12 was mining, what the hell would 12 be if it's going if like all the riches are lower? Is it like, oh, we're doing dirt or we're doing lumber or we're doing limestone? What is it? I'm just curious. Um, anyway, regardless. So overall, the story is exceptional. It's well done. And like I said, the last quote from this I'm going to use is one which is just as important. And that is, your only defense could be that you're so madly in love you weren't responsible for your actions. Got it, sweetheart? It's Hamish just saying, yeah, you fucked up. You got to just play the game now. You are now in this. There's no more, oh, I don't know what's going on. It's, you're in. You are going to deal with the government. You're going to deal with this. You have to play the game. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble. And that's what it is. And I didn't speak a lot about Hamish, but Hamish is great. I would love to know more about him. And apparently, Sunrise and the Reaping is his story because he is a mess. I mean, think about this from his point of view. He's a guy that survived the games, and now every year he has to go mentor some kids who are most likely going to die. And, if you get to know them, become friends with them, they're great. They die, you failed. If they win, you do good. But for the most part, they're going to die. Statistically, you don't win. So he's not even going to play the game. Though Katniss snaps his ass out of it, gets his head out of his ass, and he's thinking about it. So Hamish was great. The other characters, Rue. I loved Rue. I thought Rue was exceptionally well written as a character who is too short. And then for the other tributes, Foxface, I was intrigued by. We didn't know anything about her. Would have wondered what would happen if she decided to work with Katniss and Rue. Would they have gone further? Would they have died? I don't know. The rest of the tributes, well, we don't know any of them because most of them got slaughtered. You just hear fireworks and that shows the name. Yeah. So overall, what are my thoughts about this? What did I think about Hunger Games? This exceptional story. Well, I'm gonna have to give this story, let's be honest, a read it now. a tribute of pure adrenaline where the fatal weapon is a moment that burns it into your memory. And what am I talking about this? That moment, the moment of so many death, so much that moment of resilience, that moment of resistance. That is the moment that it sticks in your head. Well, for me, it stuck in my head. Maybe you had a different moment. Maybe your favorite moment was when she shot the apple in the test, or maybe your favorite moment was when she had her first kill, which is a really important part because you finally killed someone. Or is it the end? Or do you like the pageantry? Do you like when she's talking to Caesar and all those moments of her wearing her outfit? Which I like that that's when she figures out how to play because she's like, look at Cena and just smiling after you're talking to Fred, and she plays the game. Or are you all about PETA where PETA's like, yeah, well, there's a girl I like, but and she's like, yeah, so you're gonna go back to town, you'll win because you're the best. He's like, that's not gonna work because I'm playing against her. You're like, oh no. And everyone's like, but anyway, so what did you think? Did you like this? Did you not like this? You can email me personally at Zan, that's XAN at Spiraken.com. You can comment on if you liked it, or you can comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on which one you want, what your thoughts on this book were. Do you like it? Do you think it was overrated? Do you think it was great? What are your thoughts on the Hunger Games? Do you think it was the best? Do you think I waited too long to read it? Or do you think it's just the perfect time? And notice I didn't get into any of the politics part about it. I don't want a lot's going on, and we don't want to really get into stuff. So, yeah, this podcast is for fun, for a lot of things. So we're not going to get into the more unique elements, but I digress. So anyway, with that in mind, let's actually get to something else. I want to thank each and every one of you for every email I get, every comment I get, every new subscriber. It just gives me more motivation to keep doing this podcast, and I want to thank each and every one of you. So definitely like, share, subscribe, click on that bell for notification. Follow us on every social media possible. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on our website, www.sparken.com. If you're watching or listening on Apple Music, leave a like and leave a rating. Let me know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And more importantly, help join the discussion. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. Let's craft something amazing. What do you think I should analyze more in books? Do you want me to talk more about the characters, more about the plot? And well, actually, let's get to it because the next episode we're going to be talking about for our 8th entry, Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinniman. This is an arc which was for because it comes out on the 10th of 2020 of February in 2026, and that's in a couple weeks. Got a hold of this through reasons, but yeah, this arc looks really awesome, and it's another Matt Dinniman, so we're gonna see where it goes. I know it's gonna be first person and it's sci-fi. Is it gonna be the same as all the other ones? Is it gonna be the same as Matt Dinniman's Operation Kaiju? Is it gonna be the same as Dungeon Crawler Carl? We're gonna have to wait and see. But let me know. Let me know what you think. What are you gonna like about this? Tell me what you want me to talk about in this story, or what your theories are. Do you think it's gonna be the same? What do you think Operation Bounce House stands for? Let me know. But regardless, hope you enjoyed this episode. As usual, I'm your host, Zan. I'm Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time. And as always, keep reading books. I'll see you next Monday for Operation Bounce House. See you.